Yep, somebody got me. But don't worry, people. It was a bit of a thumbnail joke because, yes, I got hacked for over $4,000. But luckily, that isn't going to hurt my life that bad. But you never know if it would really hurt yours. So I'm going to tell you the story of what happened to me, tell you the tools I used to make sure the hacker couldn't steal any more funds from my wallet, and then give you some other tools if you decide you want to go check your wallets. So, the story about this starts off really stupidly, right? I live in America and we have to do taxes. Crypto taxes are complicated. There isn't even a lot of good CPAs that know how to handle crypto taxes. If they can, they're extremely expensive, extremely busy, but there's a lot of different services out there that'll try to help you do it on your own. There's Coin Tracker, there's Zen Ledger, there's a few others, and the one that actually ended up working for me was Coinly, and I do appreciate the Coinly service. Theirs worked very perfectly. If I would have went to them first, this wouldn't have happened to me. Now, I tried to use Coin Tracker software, but their reports didn't work. It didn't match what was on their website. They were doubling up how much money I earned, which doubled up how much taxes I needed to pay, and it was just crazy. It didn't work, and I'm like, your website looks right, but every time I hit print report, it adds like doubling and tripling transactions. I can't be editing these reports on my own, because then what happens when the IRS comes to me and says, your reports don't match the reports we can pull from you, yada, yada, yada. So I make my way over to the other most popular one, Zen Ledger, right? So I'm trying to use Zen Ledger to do my taxes. Their reports actually look good. Their numbers look correct on what I think I should owe. But they have a little wallet tracker that says how much money I have in crypto. And they say I'm a billionaire. Ooh, isn't that exciting? I own a token I didn't know about that makes me a billionaire. So let's look into this token they say I own. And so they tell me I own this token here, Fireball. Now, at the time, the token was worth more. If we go back, 3 months, it was somewhere up in this range, around $6 a token. And it's only actually got like a full circulating supply of, look at this, 19,000 tokens. So that's why it's a $3 to $6 token. I don't know anything about this project, but they were telling me that I had hundreds of millions of these Fireball tokens in my Polygon wallet. And I was trying to explain to them, this isn't even a Polygon token. Can you guys take that off of the stuff? Because I don't want to use your service if somewhere hidden in my report you say I'm a billionaire, because the government's going to want to know how I became a billionaire, and it's with a token that isn't real. I gave them the contract addresses. This is the actual token that was in my wallet, I believe. It's called Fireball as well, same symbol. This could be a hacker's coin, so if you work with this, don't interact with it. I don't know. They somehow seem to have gotten me, but basically they were counting this Fireball as the other Fireball, and I couldn't get them to do anything. So I wanted to get the money. I wanted to get rid of the token, right? Just get rid of it. It won't show up on my register anymore as a $1 billion thing. I don't know, maybe it'll make me negative 2 billion and whatever. Let me just see if I can get rid of this stupid token. So I look into it. I end up getting to a website. In that website, just like any other DeFi website, because that's what the Fireball token was doing, there is a DEX. And it is the only DEX that I can find to actually trade this silly token. As you can see, they say it's on QuickSwap now, but I don't think QuickSwap actually supports this token. If they do, they shouldn't. Maybe if someone knows how to contact them, they should tell them to be careful with this. But I end up approving them to trade my Fireball token, but to also in theory trade my USDC. This was a mistake I made, and this is why this was a little bit more of an exploit than me getting hacked. It was definitely my fault that I approved that USDC token, but you do that for quite a few exchanges, and so it didn't seem that abnormal. And I tried to dump off the token. I couldn't get rid of it. I think it's still hidden in my wallet somewhere if I go and look in my Polygon thing, but at least when I left Zen Ledger because they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't get it off my account. I went to Coinly. Coinly saw that wallet in those coins in my wallet, but it could tell they were worth nothing, so it didn't count them as anything. I did my taxes. The government accepted them. I'm in a happy world, and we head into this year. Of course, crypto falls apart. It goes down. Everything is a bummer, and we're all working overtime, kind of bummed out. And then, so now the government, trying to do my taxes got me to accidentally approve Fireball to access my coins, but nothing happens. None of my USDC on Polygon disappears. I'm still able to make little deposits because I don't do a lot on Polygon, but I have a few dollars and things over there. Nothing happens. None of the money gets stolen. And then just a few days ago, something happens and $4,000 gets stolen out of my wallet. That's more than I usually ever have on Polygon because I usually keep my DeFi bets much smaller. But I was looking to support a project. So let me explain what ended up happening here. Celsius got recently told by the SEC that no longer people like me who are not accredited investors, which means I'm not super rich yet, can deposit into their account and earn money. I was pretty comfortable with them holding a good amount of my stable coins, earning a smaller 7%, even though it's not what you can earn in DeFi. It's not any of those crazy kind of 20, 30, 40, 50% you hear that are out there. One of them being the Luna project in that 20% on Anchor that led to the death of that coin, in my opinion. But in general, there is, better than 7% that you can get in some relatively safe areas. A little bit after this happens to Celsius, and I can no longer add to my stack. My stack can still earn, but I can't add to it, which makes it harder for me to utilize that 7%. So I decide to go ahead and take $5,000 I had, a little bit over in BUSD, and take it out because I'm going to go ahead and try it in some more riskier DeFi plays. It's not all of my stable coins. That's why I'm not freaking out right now. But one of them is one of the farms that is going on Cub Finance, and I am going to go ahead and show you that one and explain why I wanted to go into them. And the other project I'm going to be going into, I'll cover pretty soon, is the Ooze project over on Phantom. Both of that one is very risky though, so I'll have a whole video on that. But in general, so what ended up happening here on my wallet, if you take a look at my Polygon wallet, is I used Multichain, and thank you to that team because they did help me track this down and figure out what was going on. They weren't exactly the kindest to me, but I was a user who made my own mistake and was mad at them because my coins disappeared for a moment. But I am somebody that once it was explained to me, what to look at, and I understood what happened, and I dug through my own transaction, I was able to figure out that it all went back to that approval I did to that FIRE token. So basically on this right here the other day, I transferred in a little over $4,000. You'll see comes into my wallet. This double thing. It's just kind of the way multi-chain work. They didn't really explain to me why I get like this fake USDC from AnySwap and the real USDC coin, these two, but it comes in and then it goes out in the same basically seconds, right? The time between in and out makes no sense. So literally, I'm on the multi-chain side, transferring over from BSC. They say my transaction gets approved. I switch over to Polygon and the money's already been moved out and it's gone. And I don't know what's going on. So then I eventually we dig into the transaction and we look at it, and it shows this wallet here, which is the wallet that belongs to the person that used this exploit, was able to send a command to move this little fake FT token that they created from the contract that I had approved a long time ago in the past to move my USDC. And at the same time, he was able to tell then my wallet to send my USDC to his wallet. And I had about $10 in the platform just left over because he only created this secondary contract, this one up here, that he interacted with 5 days ago. So, well, it'd be about 7 days ago now. So basically what he did is he created a contract, and I don't know if this was the original Fireball team or if it's just somebody who was able to hack their contract because their project kind of died, or it was somebody who used to be a team member of that, but somebody involved in that whole thing was able to manipulate this contract over here by writing this contract here. Obviously, they were able to watch my wallet and other wallets, and I'll show you why I say other wallets that had approved that coin and had just been waiting for big big deposits to come in or any kind of deposit to come in, because I haven't made any deposit in the last week until this one, and they'll go ahead and send a command to move all your USDC into his wallet. Hopefully this stops anybody else from getting in trouble. This is the contract address, and I will go ahead and give you guys a link in the description to this contract, and make sure that you can come to the tool I'm going to show you to revoke access to this contract, and make sure you revoke that access. So let's go ahead and move along, because I don't want this to be too long. As you can see here, this is the original, this is one of the contracts that I was talking about here. This one is the one that I never approved and I didn't work with and I didn't do anything with, but it is a contract for this FTT token that he created. Then he was able to say, basically tell that other contract to move one of these tokens, which he was able to do, back to another place, and then go ahead and take my coins in the process. Now over here, oops, I actually had that one open twice on accident. So over here is the tool that you can use to actually revoke these. So if you go ahead and do your address, and I'll pull mine up, you're going to see all the different coins out there that have access to move your tokens. And so here you can see there is a fireball entry in here, and I need to, this is to actually move fire tokens though. See, so this is what they're allowed to move. There used to be an entry in here under my USDC coin. Now you can go ahead and you can do these by you can go in here and you can come down here and you can see who has permission to move your USDC coin. Now see, there's the quick swap router. That's the real one. They had a fake quick swap router in here that I didn't realize was a bad one, and that's the one that got me hacked. This is the Sushi Shop real router, so you want to make sure these ones are okay. You could still be somebody that revokes these if you want to. So basically you have to connect your wallet. I'm going to show you an example by going ahead and revoking this this bridge here, because I don't use the DeFi bridge anymore. So since I don't use this product, this is what I should have been in the habit of doing but wasn't doing, and come and go ahead and revoke their access. If you wanted to use a service again that was legitimate and had no problems, you would just go ahead and reapprove it when you go to use it. But once this transaction is approved, they're not going to be able to move around my funds anymore on my behalf, and so there's no way that contract can be used anymore to access my coins. Now if you want to be extra careful, you could cancel out the quick swap and the Sushi Swap one, but then every time you go to do trades on those exchanges, you'd have to re-enable their ability to move around USDC coin for you. Now I'm comfortable with leaving those two open, but if you want to be extra careful and make sure that nobody can take your coins, then that's what you would need to do. Going back to this transaction, I meant to have this one open. Oh yeah, this is actually the FT coin. This is the contract on top of it. But nonetheless, this one right here was the one that allowed them to go ahead and move my coins. So it's overall it's a big mess of me accidentally leaving behind an approval for multiple months that not that many people knew about. No, I didn't have any problems with, but eventually either the project or someone that got access to that project found a way to manipulate it. And then if you go ahead and click on here, the actual person that I sent all my money to, see if I can get that. Polygon's being a little slow, so while that tries to load, of course, while I'm doing my video, I'll tell you why I was moving over such a large amount of money into DeFi, which I don't normally do. So this is the Polygon project. This is a project that I've been meaning to cover on my channel, and too bad I'm covering it now with a little bit of sadness, having lost all that money. But basically, they are a sister project to the Polycub. To the Cub Finance over on Binance Smart Chain. They launched another platform over here on Polygon. But over here on Polygon, they have a lot of different ideas. I'm not going to go into them all right now. But due to the Hive-backed dollars paying 20% on the Hive blockchain, they've been able to make a pairing of USDC and pegged Hive-backed dollars. So this is dollars to dollars that earns you right now about 25%. Now this earning is variable because the value of the token you're farming is variable. So I couldn't promise you it's going to be here, but I felt comfortable with this contract, with depositing a decent amount of money into this contract, knowing that they weren't going to probably rug pull me, because I've been using the Polycub and the Leo Finance products for a long time. They haven't led me down any kind of bad projects or anything. Farms only last for so long. The tokens only have so much value, and they're going to keep, I think, trying to push more value into both of their tokens, Cub and Polycub. But it takes continuing of pushing of stuff to keep those tokens that are made from farming go up in value. Now, Polycub has a totally different kind of supply mechanism. It's not an unlimited token, and so I can do a further review of the site as you want. But one of the reasons why I want to support this site and these different farms over here is because in a roundabout way it's supporting Splinterlands. Because if HBD got really popular the way UST did, then HBD would cause the Hive price to run the way the Luna price ran. But there are better rules to prevent the death spiral in that case. But if the Hive token could make a legitimate run and become a 10, a 5, a 10, a 15, a $20 token because everybody decided to be into HBD, then that would help Splinterlands, and I'll explain why in a second. But why would people do that? It's because you can earn 25% in this liquidity pool. What stops everybody from earning either 20% for staking HBDs or 25% over here is that it's hard to get a lot of money in and out of HBD. There's no quick way to do it. So the goal of this liquidity pool was to hopefully pull up enough money to where relatively big players would have an easy way to go ahead and get in and out of HBD and into USDC. And they have a lot of tools within this contract to take advantage of the arbitrage opportunities that get created when people make big trades. And there's just a lot of cool things to be involved with here. So I was trying to do that. And one of the reasons why we all would like to see $5 Hive is because if you come and you see these posts here that people are posting on the Splinterlands blockchain, and this person here is earning $18, which he gets about half of, so he's earning $9. Well, what if he was earning $100? What if this guy here, instead of earning 22 cents, was earning $5? And these posts here are going to get upvoted as we go down further. So if all these different people who are earning a few dollars today, $20, $10, $2 are now earning hundreds of dollars when they're blogging about Splinterlands, that's going to give them that much more money to put into the game of Splinterlands. And while the value of Hive is somewhat related to Splinterlands, it is not only related to Splinterlands, because there's projects like Leo Finance and all kinds of other places that run front ends for the Hive blockchain. And if any of them take off and get really popular, we could be indirectly have an advantage. So that's why I was trying to get that money over there. My inability to do that and me accidentally having a bad token here, and you'll see here I'll do a quick little refresh, and now that other one is gone. So now I only have these two people that can move around my USDC coins, and I am comfortable with these two routers. You can see here though, if you go no filter, I do probably want to go through here and clean up some of the other ones. I don't do change games anymore, but it's not as big a deal because you can see what they have access to move. But like, I don't use Iron Finance anymore. The one thing is these do cost gas to cancel. So on Polygon, not a big deal. On any of the cheap EVM platforms, not a huge deal to spend maybe a couple dollars cleaning up your wallet. On Ethereum, it's going to be expensive. So just on Ethereum, be careful at what you get into, because you don't really want to be spending 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 transactions to put in revokes of access to your coins or your NFTs, but that might be necessary. I'm also going to quickly just give a shout out to the Multichain team. Your bridge has been working perfectly every time I've tried to use it. I'm sorry I was a little bit short with anyone in your team. You guys helped me out a lot in being able to track down the contract that was the problem, help me get it revoked from my wallet, and make it so I can go forward using that wallet still. Also taught me a valuable lesson that I've heard before but kind of ignored. You need to make sure that you revoke old contracts and sites that you don't work with anymore, especially if they have access to any of your major coins. It's one thing for an old iron token having access to move the iron tokens, which aren't worth anything anymore, and if they stole them out of my wallet, I wouldn't care, than to have a approval in their contract to move my USDC coins, and then that would allow somebody with access to that to go ahead and send in commands, like the person who had the access to move my USDC from the fake router they got me to approve it on when I was trying to move the Fire tokens. So thanks everybody for hanging out with me. You know, it was kind of a bummer. Let's see if the thing. So here's my money coming in, but you can see he has a little bit more money coming in. He has $36 he stole from somebody here that came in. This one was only literally like a one chain link, so apparently he's trying to get those too. You can see though, if you go back to about a week ago, he had a good slew of people that he was hitting, including this person who I feel terrible for. They lost $22,000. That is far worse than me, so I can't exactly be too upset, because that would be absolutely mind-boggling sad for me. Sure, I'd like to get this back. I made a comment here, you know, saying, hey, you stole my money, you want to give it back to me? I would like to use the chain to report this one and flag this address, but when I go to flag it, it wants like picture proof that they stole money from me, when all I can show them is like that something happened that made my wallet transfer coins to them. So I don't know how to do that in a way that would actually maybe flag this address as a hacker, and see if maybe over time, if you know, he's stolen quite a bit of money. If you look at those token transfers, the 22,000 here, the 4,000 from me, 1,600 from this person, down here, so that's only 400. This is only 400, but you can see it comes in for a while, and then he does notice, oh, I got a good amount of money, and he sends it out to this seller network bridge, moving it over to another blockchain, and then probably cashing out. I'm sure somebody who was a better, you know, detective than me and a better coder than me could take a look at these contracts, tell you a little bit more of how this happened. But if you want to go ahead and clean up all your wallets, the last thing I'll leave you with is the Rug Doctor Wiki. I'll have a link to this in the description. This one goes over a little bit of a better, you know, explanation of what you're giving people permission to, what you need to revoke, why you would need to revoke them, and gives you a list of different tools that you can use to go ahead and revoke contracts on different networks. See, I was using the Polyscan one for Polygon, but you also have ones like Unrect, which does ETH, BSC, the Heco chain, and Polygon. And then you also have BSC scan, which can do them just for BSC, but that's temporarily down right now, so you have to use something like Unrect for that. Beefy does one for BSC as well, though. DBank supports ETH, BSC, XDAI, Phantom, Polygon, and OKX. So that supports a lot of them. And just double check, you know, see what you've given permission to. And if the project is dead, you probably definitely want to revoke those, because you don't want a dead project like the one that affected me to affect you, because maybe somebody else gets access to that contract. Maybe somebody gives it to them. Maybe they sell it to somebody as a last way approval of making a little bit of funds, and that person knows that if people have extra approvals on that contract, they're going to be able to set something up to manipulate their contract. So here's hoping that, you know, the crypto market turns around, that you don't make the kind of mistakes that I made to lose this money, that you learn a lesson from what I did. And, you know, guys, thank you very much. If anybody out there wants to send me anything, I'll accept it. But it really was some money I was pulling out to put into that Polygon farm, and just be ready for, you know, some other things that were going on in the Polygon ecosystem soon. So thanks, guys. Have a good one, and hopefully we don't lose any more money to people like this, right? Bye.